People think that you have to have a degree. People think that you have to have a license. People think that you have to have a license that you get through the state. But think
I get it.
you have to have a degree. People think that you have to have a medical background, medical training, but that's just not the truth. So I'm trying to change our thinking, people of our color, people white, black, Asian, whatever color they are, because the more people that I can help open up companies, mean that that's more access for people to be able to get home healthcare services in that area
Especially people of color too.
and people of color too. So at the end, so that's what I'm more focused on. Like I get on here, I play around, I make jokes about me being a millionaire, I make jokes about this. But at the end of the day, my core reason is being able to help people become millionaires. I believe there are certain people put here in this life to be able to dedicate and be able to give up their happiness and everything that they want and need to be able to help other people out.
What's happening, good people? Welcome to another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders, man. Today, I got a very, very unique guest doing very, very dope stuff. And again, remember, we interview dope people who do dope things and we figure out their relationship that they had with real estate. So today, man, I got my guy, Jonathan Gooch, man. What's happening?
Well, what's up, boss?
Chilling, man. I appreciate you coming by, brother.
I mean, anytime you call me, I show up. And you called me last minute, but it is what it is.
I appreciate it. Man, so man, for those who don't know you, let them know who Jonathan Gooch is, bro.
Oh, so to put in short, I sell drugs. No, I'm just playing. No, but that's the thing that most people expect when they see successful young black people.
Facts,
Like, it's so
facts.
funny because a lot of times, a lot of places that I go, when I get out the Lamborghini or like when the ADT guy come to my mansion and have to come do stuff, they all be like, oh, what do? You do music, you in the industry, you play sports, or you sell drugs.
Facts.
But to let people know that I don't do any of those things, even though I joke around a lot. But I do a couple of things. I actually own a non-emergency ambulance company. I also own an in-home nursing program where I send out nurses, CNAs, and LPNs to take care of people inside the home who typically can't take care of themselves. I also send out nurses to help at schools. So I got school nurses, and I have a staffing agency too that deal with nursing care.
Got you, man. That's a mouthful, bro.
I know it's a lot, isn't it, right?
What you do before all of this, man?
No, so I was a tattoo artist. Yeah,
Got you.
I was a tattoo artist for 10 years, maybe a little bit longer than 10 years. Never got a tattoo myself.
You don't got no tattoos?
None. Finessed everybody. number one finesser. Never got a tattoo in my life.
You never had an interest? You never had an idea that you wanted to put on your body?
I started doing tattoos back when I was 18 in high school. I actually went through an apprenticeship. So when I went through my apprenticeship, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and draw my tattoo, which I did, but then I was around it so much that it just kind of lost the flair of me actually having one. And then I see how much pain everybody else was going through. And I'm like, what your mama say? If your friend jump off a cliff, you gonna jump off with him? Nope. So I was not going down that road. But I was surrounded around, almost kind of like a barber who hair always be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the thing about it, they just around it so much, they're just like, I don't really care.
Tripping.
Yeah, I'm not tripping about having it. And then after a couple of years passed, then I was like, yeah, I'm not getting a tattoo ever in my life. Nothing against it, but it's just not fun. I was just surrounded about 24 hours a day.
You from Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. College Park, Bubba Sparks, let me say. See, look, all the people up under like 25 not gonna know what I'm talking about.
That is hilarious, man. What's that? Booty everywhere. Yeah. That's what. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I'm tracking.
Definitely something.
So you went from being a tattoo artist to now having a home healthcare service.
Yes.
What happened there? Like, what was the transition like? Who introduced you to this, and how did that happen?
So basically, when I was in high school, I came up with the ideal of I did go to college, but the funny thing is, it took me 10. I didn't graduate college at 27 with my bachelor's degree. So I'll tell you about that in a second.
You ain't the only one, bro.
so let me tell you. So when I was in high school, in my mind, I said, you know how you have that day where you pick what you want to go to school for, want to go to college for, what degrees you want to take up. In my mind, I said, what's one thing that we have to have, regardless of anything else? We have to have healthcare.
Facts.
So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, everybody wanted to be a doctor. I'm like, I don't want to be a doctor. What I've noticed is when I look at hospitals, doctor offices, and places like this, usually the business office for those are 3 or 4 times bigger than the actual facility that's doing the care. So my mom, she was a nurse. for 30, right now it's about 40 plus years. When
Mm.
I used to go visit her at the hospital, we would pass through the business park to get to the hospital, the way that we came in through the back entrance. All the employees came through. And the business park was literally 4 times bigger than Atlanta Medical Center. Atlanta Medical Center is downtown. Their business park is right across the street.
Got you.
And when I say it's literally 4 times bigger than their hospital, it's ridiculous. So in my mind, I said, hold up, wait a minute. This something's not making sense. The people that actually provide the care work inside this hospital, but the business office is 4 times bigger. So I don't have to provide the care.
Mm.
I need to be on the back end because it's a lot more employees, there's a lot more going on. Everybody want to get in healthcare because they think that that's the only way that they can provide help is being a doctor, being a nurse. But at the end of the day, you go to school for 12 years, you go to school for 6 years, and you come out making what, 150? I noticed that the seat.
You probably go to school longer
Yeah,
to make that.
you go to school longer to make that. You know what I'm saying? And then nurses come out of school making $40,000 a year,
Mhm.
which congratulations to them. Like, nurses really do most of the work.
Facts.
But in my mindset, I'm like, okay, I go to school for 12 years, become a doctor, make 150K. This CEO of this company, the CEO of the hospital, he's making $2-3 million a year.
Mm.
And he has to go to school in less time. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, something's not adding up. I got to figure something out. So I was like, let me go to school for healthcare administration. So I did my tattoo apprenticeship. I became a tattoo artist. And between that time, that 10-year time, I was just doing tattoos and I was going to school. I would take one semester off, go to school for one semester, maybe take up 2 classes, then do a full load. But then I started paying for school out of pocket. My mom was like, look, when you graduate college, you're not going to be in a whole bunch of debt. So what we're
When
going
you
to do
start
is,
paying, that shit hit different.
yeah, it do hit different. So now doing that full load books and all that, yeah, I'm paying for one class here too. But I was a tattoo artist,
Right.
and I was making very, very good money. Like being a tattoo artist, I probably made around 70, 80K. But I'm 19 years old making 70, 80,000.
That's good money at that age.
Great money at that age.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody, you 18, 19, and you coming out making that amount.
It's lit.
Yeah, I'm lit in the city. I'm going crazy. Like I got a condo in Atlantic Station, all this. I'm going crazy. So, but my thought pattern was still the same. So my friend Brad, what he ended up coming with, he owned personal care homes.
Okay.
And he was making a lot of money.
So what's a personal care home?
So a personal care home is a home where individuals come stay at your property.
Okay.
You don't have to own that property. You can actually rent that property, but it's just a lot of red tape.
Got you. Because I got rentals. So I was just thinking, is
Yeah.
there something I could do or somebody
no.
that got real estate
Okay,
could do?
so now, yes, it is something that somebody can do in real estate. So let me give you this game real quick. With a personal care home, the state will allow for individuals who have mental disabilities
Mhm.
and have medical disabilities come stay at your home. Every room have to be certain dimensions.
Right.
It's stuff like that you have to go through. You have to
Right.
get licensed through the state. But right now, the going rate for one person staying in your home is somewhere around $4,000 to $5,000.
Wait. So like they don't got the whole home. They got a room though, right?
They got a room. So you can have typically, and then what I've come to know is they won't allow homes up under 4 beds at least to even get inside these programs.
Mm.
So what happens is you got a home that has, and then the thing is you can actually use your rental or you can use an older individual who actually have their own home.
Got
So
you.
what essentially happens is you go to somebody who old and be like, hey, I see that you're old, you're retired, you have this nice home. I want to put some individuals inside the home and pay you X amount of dollars to watch over these 4, 5, 6 individuals. In your mind, you're like, oh, I mean, how much you gonna pay them? But if I just retire and somebody come to me and say, hey,
Mhm.
I'm gonna pay you $8,000-$9,000 to watch over these 5 individuals every month. Now you're like, wait a minute, I sit at home all day anyway. All I
Game
gotta do is
changer.
just feed them. I gotta do this. So that's what my friend Bradford did.
Got you.
So after that, he ended up coming up with what I actually do now, which is private home care provider.
Understood.
So what I do now is I send out nurses, CNAs, and LPNs to take care of individuals in their homes. The reason why I like this more is because I don't have to own a home. If you're already in real estate, you own homes and things like this, you can easily go out and go hire a CNA, go hire somebody who don't have anywhere to stay, get them their CNA certificate and get them through the program and then put them in one of your houses. And now you're paying them hourly. Now you don't got to pay them $8,000, $9,000 a month.
Understood.
Now you're paying them $3,000 or $4,000 a month and they got a place to stay to watch individuals. But I like scalability. See, what I've come to find out is poor people worry about the front end Wealthy, rich people worry about the back end.
Facts.
So what I've come up with, I don't care about trying to get $4,000 or $5,000 per individual for the month. Give me the small. I want the small number. So for what I do, I probably get paid maybe anywhere between $7 to $25 an hour, depending on what type of case I have. So most people think about it, if I have a case, most of my cases, I probably make around $8 an hour.
Okay.
So that's $8 an hour times 40 hours a week. What that ends up being, isn't that like $320 or something?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. So that's $320. Most people like $320 off of a case, but all I did was place a CNA inside of a home with a kid that has a disability that might have cerebral palsy. People with cerebral palsy, or kids with cerebral palsy, or adults with cerebral palsy, typically they cannot walk, they cannot talk, they cannot feed themselves. Their muscle mass is little. Like I have kids that are 18 years old who weigh 50 pounds. So my CNA goes inside the home and take care of them. While my CNA inside the home, I typically get paid $20 an hour. I pay my CNA $12, $13, $14. I take her home around $8 an hour. So I make $320. That's what I take home after paying them.
But if I'm doing math right, that's just for 1 8-hour shift.
See,
you're not talking about the other.
No, that's 1 8-hour. That's 1 40-hour shift for a week, making $8, which is $320.
Right.
But this is where things get tricky.
Okay.
So now that $320 times 4 is what? 3, 6, 12. Let's just say
$1,300.
Yeah, let's say like somewhere around $1,300. Yeah, around $1,300. Now that $1,300 times 12, because these kids have to get care every day, every week, year round. So now that $1,300 turned into what? 15, 16,000.
Right.
And let's just be realistic. So let's say, they're not going to work every day. Let's just bring that number from 15, 16 down to 12.
Fair.
Let's just be real fair, because I don't like hyping up numbers, getting people all hyped. So 12,000 off one case. If I get 10 cases like this, that's 120,000. Where all I've done is, I'm just a middleman. I operate like a staffing agency. All I do is I go get the contracts and I go get the employees. I meet up and I make sure that the employees follow what they're supposed to do while they're inside the homes, and I hold the paperwork. So when the state come in and audit me, that I have everything in order.
Understood.
That's all that I do. So I'm a staffing agency. So at this point, I can grow faster than a private home, because a private home, you have to get the home, you have to do, like I said, if you already have the real estate and have the rentals and stuff, it's a game changer. That's easy. But for somebody like me, who I didn't have the money to go invest into homes and things like this, I could grow way faster doing this.
Got you.
So I
Makes
do
sense.
scalability. But the thing is, once you get into what I do, when you look at most of the people who do what I do, I ask people all the time, like, how many people do you know that own any type of medical facility, any type of home healthcare agency, or anything like that? Like, honestly, how many people outside of me and Brad?
Man, I only know one. Hootie. Yeah,
Mhm.
I only know one.
And what does he do exactly?
Same thing you do. He has a staffing agency.
Okay.
In Indianapolis, Indiana, though.
Okay, and he does healthcare, right?
Yes, he does. He does it in different states though as well, but he does the in-home healthcare.
Okay, but the thing is, when you look around, it's so many jobs that's created in the healthcare field, but you rarely ever know anybody that owns the businesses.
Facts.
So I'm like, how is that even possible? Because typically the people that own these businesses just aren't in your tax bracket. So you never get to know them. That's where shit start getting real.
Yeah, because Hootie do make numbers.
You don't know Hootie for that, though.
Correct.
I mean,
agree.
because you got hospitals, urgent care, doctor offices, rehabilitation clinics. All this stuff isn't government owned. Most of it's not. It's privately owned. So where are all these, like, people that might own the Wendy's, McDonald's, all these other organizations, all these other businesses, but you don't know anybody that actually owns a doctor office? Why is this? Because these people that own these type of organizations and companies just aren't in your tax bracket. They're somewhere in no other different, because once you get into what I do, you start doing multiple things. That's why I do non-emergency ambulance. That's why I start staffing schools. That's why I do COVID-19
So
vaccinations.
Hold on. Before you go that far, I do have a question about like having a rental property and leasing it out though.
Okay,
real
yes.
quick. So like, is my liability that much higher by doing that though? You know what I'm saying? By having them in my facility?
So the only problem I have in your facility is you have to cover. So let's say if you have an individual that is a smart ass. One that literally would this is situations my friend Bradford went through where they would buck and be like, F you, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and if you don't give me what I want, I'm breaking this TV behind me, and you're gonna have to replace it.
Man.
That's what a lot, like, so then when you deal with then they pay you more money. There's been times where they would pay you $9,000 or $10,000 to take care of one individual. But this one individual,
it ain't even probably worth it.
it's not worth. Like he's gonna be a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? And emotional, and when I mean, like he will put his hands on the caregivers type of situations. So that's the type of but then you get other type where now you can just deal with elderly people who, you know, have dementia, things like this. It's real easy. They might pay you $3,500, something like that for it. But it's an easy case.
I got it.
It's definitely an easy case because at the end of the day, when you have to look at the work that you have to do. If you own a rental property, you put somebody in it to rent the property.
Mm-hmm.
You might end up, let's say if the rent is $2,500, your mortgage might be $500, $600 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you might make $800, $1,000 off of that a month.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say you Airbnb it out. Now, when you Airbnb it out, now your profit you might end up making off of one rental $15,000 a month, $10,000 to $15,000 a month. Somewhere around there.
That's if we rent your house, bro. Not my little rentals.
Wait, okay, all right. So, all right, my bad.
If we rent your house, yeah. But if we rent my rentals, we ain't doing that. We gonna do 3,000.
Yeah, I mean my mansion, but you know, I'm not gonna correct you too many more times. So, but what I'm sitting there saying is, I mean, look, let's be honest. Like, if I sit here, you know, I got my truck outside.
Right.
If I sit here and I go out to my truck, I'm about to see. If I sit here and say, yeah, I'm about to go jump in my Lamborghini, you're gonna be like, bro, you in your truck. So my house isn't a house; it's a mansion. But, you know, let's just make sure we get it right. Look, I'm literally playing. Hey, man. No, look, I'm literally playing. But no. But yeah, so, I mean, sorry. So, wait, for the average Airbnb, they probably bring home like around $6,000, $6,000
no
for like the average Airbnb.
Right.
But if you put individuals inside a home and you have 4 to 6 individuals and they're paying you $4,000 a piece, now instead of making $6,000 off of the Airbnb and have to be worried about people booking, having to pay somebody to come clean up, having to take care of if somebody have a party, and if your Airbnb is in a place where they don't want Airbnbs and Airbnb over it. The difference between Airbnb and private homes are Airbnb is a necessity in a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
These private care homes, that's a need.
Facts.
These individuals have to be there. Somebody have to take care of them. That's why I got into healthcare. Because this is the actual need. What I do, I can walk in any room and I can tell an individual that regardless of whatever you have going on, you're going to need me one day. I don't care. I don't care about wars. I don't care about poverty. I don't care about what the economy is doing. Like they're saying inflation. They're saying we're about to go through another recession. They're saying the housing market is going to fail. COVID-19. Throughout all of that,
your bag was still good.
My bag was still. Throughout COVID-19, I made more money, which is crazy.
Why is that?
Because at the end of the day, I end up making more money because more people start staying at home. I end up becoming where I could provide COVID-19 vaccinations. That's the thing about healthcare. Once you're in it and you hold certain licenses, it's easier to get other licenses.
Gotcha.
It's the same, but it's all about knowledge.
Right.
If I come to you and I sit here and say, bro, I need to make $1 million in a year. You're going to be like, shit, that's easy, Gooch. Come on, this is easy. Like, you're going to take A, B, C, and D.
Right.
If I come to an individual and say, who own 20 Chick-fil-A's and say, hey, I want to open up a Chick-fil-A, they're going to be like, that's easy. But to the outside world looking in, it's not easy because we don't have the knowledge. And that's anything.
Something that you should know, though. So I applied to get a Chick-fil-A in 2018. It was 43,000 applicants. No bullshit. I'm in Indianapolis. I wanted one in Cali.
Mm-hmm.
And I came down to the last 200 before I got cut. I went through 9 interviews.
Wow.
Like, trying to get a Chick-fil-A is like trying to win the lottery,
no,
bro.
And then let me ask this. How much do the average Chick-fil-A owner actually make?
Anywhere between, depends on the store, but right now anywhere between $500,000 to $700,000. But they're owner-operators. That means that they actually manage the store and operate and own the store, but they own their own LLC, meaning that when they're done with their tenure, they actually walk away and that store is awarded to the next candidate to operate it.
But you know the funny thing is, most people don't even understand that. What I've come to my friend, he owns like 12 McDonald's.
Wow.
And this is way back in the day.
See, I need to start hanging out with you, bro. Because you said, you know what he said to me? He tried to flip it on me. He said, Eric, if I asked you how to make $1 million, you was gonna tell me just like that. Bro, we all trying to figure that out.
No, you definitely know.
But go ahead. You was telling me about the McDonald's.
So he owns 12 McDonald's. Funny thing is, back in the day, he told me, he said, you know the funny thing is, I really can't even say I own this McDonald's. He said they own the property, They own the licenses. They own the rights. All I do is just manage it. He said, if I was to get in trouble, if I was to break their contract, if this McDonald's was to get bad publicity, they would take it away from me with the quickness, within a drop of a dime. So he was like, how can I own something that somebody else can take away from me? He said McDonald's is very smart because they own the actual land that any McDonald's out here, nobody owns that land except for the corporation of McDonald's. So if I own the land and own the building and you're just leasing the building from me, I could take it away from you for what I'm pretty sure they have a clause in there that says, if you fuck up, we can take this away from you. So they don't own it. Most of these corporations and stuff, most of these businesses, they just own the license to operate it.
Mm-hmm.
But, we like to get the big head. I own it, nigga. You don't own that. Like, let's just be completely honest. You know what I'm saying? If I go give you about 1,000 bad reviews, I promise you have to answer to somebody at the end of the day. Let's just be honest. You got to answer to somebody at the end of the day. So, just throughout my time, I just having the knowledge means everything. So that's why I tell people, people want to do all these amazing things out of life, which is, I understand. But it's better if you get a coach or a mentor to help you, because just like with what I've done, I've put in a lot of years, I've made a lot of mistakes in opening and I'm running my company. Just like you have, just like anybody else have out here in this world. So it's easier to pay somebody to be able to learn all the mistakes that they've made and how to do things the right way. The funny thing is, we learn all this information and we don't even understand where it's coming from or how to utilize it, but we use it every day. The same way when you get hired for a job, what happens when you hire for a job? They send you through training. You literally get trained by somebody else. Why is that? Why do you get trained by somebody else when you get hired?
They got the experience. You can leverage their knowledge and everything they've done.
And everything they've done before. So why not do the same thing when you want to go out here and be an entrepreneur and open up businesses and things like that?
Got you.
So that's why I try to explain to people, and anybody that owns a McDonald's or want to own a McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, it's like, it makes sense to be able to get out and invest in yourself by investing in other people's time. And that's the best way to be able to become successful and become knowledgeable and get other knowledge, because you can get out and do it yourself, by far. But it's easier. It's almost kind of like me telling you, I put you in a dark room and sit here and say, hey, make it to the door. And I turn you around 15 times and you're in the maze. But if I put you in that dark room and give you a map, and I give you a map and I give you a flashlight and I show you the way that I've taken to get to success, then I promise you it'll be more successful or more successful quicker. But I do have to tell people this at the same time. What I hate running into is people sitting there saying that X, Y, and Z told me to do it this way, so I'm going to listen to them, and I'm only going to listen to them because they make X amount of money. So it's almost kind of like this. I'm going to listen to my friend who makes $50 million a year doing X, Y, and Z in my profession, but they're not even in your profession. They just make $50 million a year doing whatever they're doing. But because they make so much money, you take their word as God, take their word as gold. What I want to tell people is, what you have to do is, if I tell you something, you tell you something, and 5 other people tell you something, how to be successful, you don't only pick one person. You take everything that everybody have told you, you put it in one box, you mix it up, and you use whatever works for you.
It applies to you. No
because
doubt.
I might tell you to go right. You might tell them go left. The other person might tell them go straight. If they only listen to me and go right, go only the directions that I've told them, that may not work for them.
Facts.
I wake up at like 10, 11 o'clock on most days. Somebody else might wake up at 5 a.m.
Right.
So who you're going to believe? Only the person that's more successful? No, because I might be more successful, but the person tell you wake up at 5, that might work better for you.
Facts.
So we got to get out of this mindset of only thinking and looking at successful people. Everybody have knowledge about something, whether they're poor, whether they're rich.
Being more open-minded about and being more of a sponge and applying what works for you to your path.
Yeah, and that's what I took to open up my businesses. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to have any college degree. You don't have to have any medical training, any medical background to own the type of companies that I own. You only have to have the knowledge of knowing that you can own this type of company without having that type of degrees and things like this. But when you think about, man, I want to own this type of home healthcare service side, don't you have to have a nursing degree or a college degree or something? No, you don't. You just don't know the knowledge of how to be able to do it without having those. And the great thing is, I have that knowledge. So that's why I help so many individuals be able to open up their own services and things like that, because my industry is actually growing. So they
Mm.
said in the next 10 years that we're growing where we are going to hire another, I want to say 24% hiring is needed in the next 10 years,
Wow.
which is more than any other industry. Any other industry, we're growing the
Is
fastest.
that because of the baby boomers?
So what's happening is the baby boomers now are getting to the point where they're older, they're pulling from Social Security, they're starting to retire.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's more than just that. You look at all the food that we're eating. You look at just health in general. It's like it's almost, you know how they're getting ready to middle class? It's almost the same thing with us. It's either you're healthy or you're not healthy. It's no in between no more.
Especially with the COVID.
Especially with the COVID and things like this. So, but everything's starting to move to home healthcare. Now, when you want to go to the doctor, you can just, it's an app on your phone, you talk to your doctor like this.
Mhm.
When you need your actual blood and stuff pulled, they're sending a nurse out to come take your blood and stuff inside of the home. My company actually does that.
Got you.
So now they'll hire a company like mine to come in, we come in, pull your blood, send it away to the lab. Your insurance pays my company to do that. That's it.
Mm.
Everything's moving to the home.
What percentage of care is done at home?
Right about now,
Mhm.
I want to say probably like around 30%.
Got
25 to 30% is actually moving into the home healthcare.
you. Got you.
But I mean, just home in general.
Got
That's nursing homes, anything out. So skilled nursing facility are like our hospitals and things like that. But then you got rehabilitation, then you got other places, OT, PT, and things like that, home healthcare, all that stuff. Up under there is probably about 25, 30%.
Got you. So that's growing. What's competition like? You know what I mean? For somebody who is new. You know what I'm saying? Your experience, you have relationships. You know, I took your course. I'm not going to go execute this. I want to become an owner and do this. When I go out there to do it though, and I don't have any, referrals, references, and or experience, what's competition out there like?
All right, so the the great thing you actually mentioned that to me, because I actually just signed up with a company that they actually give referrals to home healthcare agencies across the nation.
Oh, you got a cheat code.
Yeah, I got a cheat code. So my students and stuff, I give them access to this network where they'll be getting 2 or 3 referrals a month from this service.
Can you do that in Indiana too?
You can do it it don't matter where you are. So it don't matter. And all the bigger companies in the state of Georgia, all the bigger companies work with this one agency and stuff like this. So
Gotcha.
they'll get a lot of referrals. But outside of all of that, to more directly answer your question without even using the service and things like this,
Mhm.
when you think about home healthcare or healthcare in general, if you get sick right now, let's say right now, let's say not you, somebody right now in this room fall out, having a heart attack. When the ambulance come get them, they're going to take them to the closest hospital.
Mhm.
They don't care about whatever they're going to take them wherever they need to be able to survive.
I agree.
In healthcare, that's what matters. We don't so much look into. It's almost kind of like when you have to go to the doctor. Do you call your friend and say, "Hey, what doctor do you go to? Let me go to your doctor." No, you go to Google and you look up the closest doctor in the area.
Mm.
When it comes to home healthcare, we look up whatever is closest to us. When I go to the dentist, I moved way from the south side. Now I stay in Buckhead. I just look up the dentist right up the street.
Makes sense. Now I do the same thing.
So in home healthcare, it's the same thing. And what I love about home healthcare is we really don't have loyalty to any home healthcare or any home healthcare service. So I'm a service provider. My clients, they have loyalty to me because they've been with me for years, but anybody who's not one of my clients, they could care less. So when they're searching, they're just searching for whoever the closest they can provide care.
How could you create loyalty though? Because I mean that's important. Retention in any type of business is key though, right?
So it's a couple of things. I always say go outside the box. Do more than what the next person would do.
Give me an example of some things you would do in your industry to increase retention with your clients.
So one of the things that I do is when I actually sign up a new client, I actually handwrite a card to them saying, "Thank you for signing up with me, XYZ." So I had somebody new sign up with me yesterday. I want you to read the message that I actually wrote them. All right, so look, read that message right there of what I wrote them. Because basically they signed up. They have a son that's sick. They're getting into my program. And she was like, "Okay, text me over your information and have your nurse call me." But read what I wrote her after she signed up, me just sending her my information.
Got you. It was great speaking with you today. I'm really excited to be working with you and your family. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. We're always here to help.
See, something simple. So something simple like this, me sitting here saying, I'm really excited to be working with you and your family. You think that's something small, but I know other home health care
personalizes
agencies.
it.
Yeah, it personalizes it of me saying. So something like that. I will handwrite a note to them. I would check up on them. Anything that they need done, I'm there for them. They could call me night or day.
Got you.
So I've paid people rent before.
Oh, you one of them? I'm teasing.
I like that. That's pretty funny. but no, I've paid people. But then another thing, we donate a lot of money to different charities and things like this. I invite a lot of the people that's in my programs to come out. Like we're having a big Halloween party
Got you.
coming up this weekend.
We ain't get no invitation, Mike.
Well, it's for kids with special needs.
I got you.
Yeah,
I'm
so
teasing.
it's for kids with special needs. But I do a lot of things like this.
Got
So
you.
I play more onto the fact that when you have individuals that are sick, they're limited.
Mhm.
I try to open up the door and make sure that they have different options of things that they're able to do, and they have a lot of different support. So the way I actually keep retention is, at the end of the day, these people only want somebody in their home on time. That's literally what they come down to being, and they want good communication. So I make sure that we have good communication. I have systems in place, policies and procedures in place to make sure that we're always on time and communication is always open. And what I've come to know in the home healthcare service is don't lie. You get a lot of people that come in and say, other services come in and say, we're going to make sure we're going to staff you 24/7. If somebody misses a day, we're going to have somebody replace them, X, Y, and Z. I come in, I don't say none of that stuff. I'm going to be honest with them. I come in, I say, hey, this is home healthcare. At the end of the day, right now, in the home healthcare industry, it's being shaken up. So if one of our employees have to miss, more than likely, we won't be able to have somebody fill in, at least not immediately.
But don't you think that that'll hurt you? Like, that might. If you tell me that if I have a job where I'm going in 9 to 5, and I have a child that needs care or a relative that needs care, and you say that to me, I understand that you're ethically trying to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody to be like, oh, I'll be there 24/7, I'm gonna be more prone to like bite on that apple versus yours.
And then you know what ends up happening?
They go there and they come back to you.
And they come back. In home healthcare, no matter what you think, no matter what happens, stuff is going to happen. Your caregiver is going to be on the way to work and get in a car wreck. While these are instances where I've had that. While you have
you
to
could
go
be a
to
little
work.
bit sensitive, bro.
But I'm just giving you a situation like that happens, and then what happens is now you call the home healthcare agency and say, hey, I need a replacement. Like she got in a car wreck. Somebody needs to be here. They say, we can't have anybody here. Now you're frustrated. Now you're mad because at the end of the day, you expected for them to have somebody there. They don't live up to that. So you get mad with them. Not everything that was irritating you about the company now come to light. Now you're ready to leave. Then you come back, you're like, oh, the other gentleman, he did come here. He said that they'll try their best that when these instances come up. So I just be completely honest from the beginning, and I get you on the back end. So people, they will sometimes go to other services. And then I look at it like this. When I talk to individuals and they sit here and say, I have to have somebody, X, Y, and Z. I don't want you as my client anyway. I don't want to deal with that headache. So sometimes all money is not good money. I selectively pick certain individuals that I want to take into my company for that simple fact. Because I don't want to deal with somebody who their expectations, after I explain to you, this is home health care, this isn't a hospital, that we just don't have 30 people waiting. They wake up in the morning like, hey, I'm just waiting for a shift to open up in your part of town, which might be 100 miles away from my epicenter. So at the end of the day, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you what's the honest God truth. And then you're going to rock me. If you sit here and tell me that I don't work for you, you don't work for me. I'm not about to break my back. I'm not going to get a call at 6 a.m. in the morning because somebody missed and I'm up scrambling trying to get somebody there.
Now, question, do you have other nurses, like backup nurses or backup LPNs?
No, I do. So for my company, I do have some backup nurses and backup LPNs and CNAs and things like that.
How does that work? Because if you assign somebody a house, and then do you have like a floater? Do you designate her as a floater? How do you?
Yeah, so what we have, we do have floaters. So what the way our schedule work is, we got certain nurses, it's home health care, so it's not always Monday through Friday, 40 hours. Some people work 40 hours over the weekend.
Mm.
Like they would literally work like 2 16-hour shifts,
Crucial.
Saturday, Sunday. But you gotta realize this: they work the whole weekend, get their 40 hours in, and Monday through Friday they chilling. While you go to work Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. But this, and then we cater to their family schedules.
Okay.
So we might have somebody who work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 hours apiece. Get
Gotcha.
36 hours, and then that's their week. So the rest of the time, they're like, hey, if you got anything else for me, let me know. I'll fill in.
Right now, there's a shortage in just people applying for jobs. People don't want to work right now. Do you have a lot of times where you have to pay overtime?
Yeah, so what I do is, what I've come to find is we'll pay people either overtime or we'll give them a bonus for signing up, things like this, because the hospitals are trying to grab up people and they're giving bonuses. So we give bonuses too.
Mhm.
So just a little bit of game. If you own any type of business and you have a shortage right now of hiring, just offer a bonus. But when people think about bonuses, they're like, man, I got to give somebody extra $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $5,000 for working. Yeah, but the way you do it is like these other companies do. They stretch it out. You don't get that full money up front. But what that creates is, if I'm giving you a bonus, which is basically free money for signing up, and I stretch it out, if I'm gonna give you $1,000 and sit here and give you an extra $150 on every paycheck, and you get paid bi-weekly, now you're stuck with me for this X amount of time because you want to get this free money. Now I've created a point where, yes, I'm giving you an extra $150, but at the same time, now you're coming to work and you're going to be there and you're going to stay with my company.
'Cause you
At
got the-
least.
you got the carrot hanging.
Yeah, because I got the carrot hanging. So like I said, poor people worry about the front end, rich people worry about the back end.
Explain
always
that
worried
though.
about
You
the
said
back
that once
end.
before. Explain that to somebody who's never heard that. You know what I'm saying? You gave an example in this situation, but a lot of people don't understand that. You know what I mean?
So let me give it like this. If I have somebody come to me, or if I come to somebody and I sit here and say, hey, I want $500 for my services.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I want. My bad. If I come to you and I'm like, I want $2,000 for my services,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be $2,000 for my services, and it could be something that can be done every month. One of my friends, they go get massages and all this stuff, and they're a couple. I want to say they spend like $2,000 a month on massages and things like that.
They feel real good.
Yeah, they feel real good. I promise like $500 a week that
Woo!
they literally spend on massage and stuff like that. So they can afford it, everything like this. No, I got a better instance. This is gonna be a better instance. So I was actually at a club in like Alabama.
I like this example.
Yeah, in like Alabama. I was in a club in some
country.
some country ass town. Some country. But so when we tried to go in the club, it was some big party, rappers and stuff in town, so they was overcharging. They wanted like $300, $400 a person to come inside the club. It was a strip club, like the only strip club there. So they wanted $300, $400 for people to come to the strip club. We come up there, we're like, it's like 8 of us. We're not giving you $300, $400. We can see that there's really nobody inside the strip club. They're worried about the front end. So we tell them, we're like, look, there's nobody in here. It's already 1 a.m. Y'all got to close at 3. You're literally going to turn around. And we was like, we'll give you $150 each. We ain't giving you $300. We'll give you $150 each per person. So you're literally going to turn around all of this money because you're worried about trying to get $300, the front end, versus worried about the back end.
Mhm.
The back end would have been, let me go ahead and just charge them $150 a piece, get mine in numbers, let them in my establishment, which they're going to buy drinks, buy more, get ones, which they get their 10%, all this stuff. I'm going to get my money on the back end from them. Because each one of them individuals, when they come to the club and it's lit like this, they're probably going to get a session. They're probably going to drink. They're going to get their ones. I'm going to make mine on the back end. But I'm so worried about the front end, they turned us around.
They were so worried about the back.
Yeah, they were so worried about the money. So they missed out on maybe a cool $1,500 that they could have made because they were so worried about trying to make $3 or $4 grand up front. They missed out. They were so worried about the front end. Poor people worry about the front end. I'm a business owner. I want the back end. I want to make sure that now I would never go back to that club a day in my life.
Right.
Look,
so it hurts the longevity of it.
So it hurt just like I was at a new club they just opened up, Visions or something, Victory Vision somewhere.
Hey, Gooch would be the one to introduce the strip club to the podcast.
No. Visions ain't a strip club. No, Visions. But it's a new club. It's Old Off Piedmont. I went there the other day. When I get there, so I pull up in my Lamborghini. I get there, they're like, oh, it's what they say, it's 200 to park. I'm like, 200 to park? I'm like, bro, it's just a regular night.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, whatever. So I paid them the 200. I would never go back to that club again. I'm a multi-millionaire. But and when people gotta understand stuff, yes, I might have more money to spend on things, but we all put a number on everything.
Facts.
At the end of the day, like, this shirt, I may have paid like $100 for this shirt. People be like, oh man, that's crazy, pay $100 for a shirt. I got friends that pay $1,000 for a shirt. I make more than some of my friends that pay $1,000 for their shirt.
Mhm.
They're multimillionaires too. But I just have a price point on what I think I should pay for certain things.
No doubt.
But I go to Universal Studios and I get the private tour where I get like a tour guide that walk me around and it costs me $10,000. My friends won't pay that because we got a price point on everything
No
that
doubt.
we have.
No doubt. We
So-
frugal in certain
Yeah, we
areas.
frugal in certain areas. So my thing is, them trying to make money on the front end on me has made me now. I love, and the thing is, when I go to clubs and stuff, if they show me major love, I'm in there. I'm like, man, this is my spot. I'm in there. They show me love. I
Making
pull
it
up.
rain.
Yeah, I pull up in valet. Look, I pull up in valet. I don't have to pay for valet, but I come in, I buy a section, $1,500, $2,000. Here you go. Sometimes I be by myself and get a section and it costs $1,200 because I like the establishment. It's just what I do.
show
You build
love.
loyalty.
Yeah.
But those are people that's like, okay, I know my friend, he owns Experience. My friend Tiki, what he did was on the front end, he brought me in there, gave me free food. Anytime I come in there, he showed me major love. I could call him like, hey, I got some friends outside, X, Y, and Z. But any other time, I'm paying full price for everything else. Because in the front, he showed me major love. So he wasn't worried about
So
the
now
front
it
end.
comes
But now
around.
when he's made so much money off of me coming in there, but that's just called being a good business owner. Because
No
he didn't
doubt.
try to nickel and dime. I come up there, like I was up the other day, he had valet. I'm like, Tiki, they got valet up here now. I'm like, man, what you doing? He was like, Gooch, I'm coming out there. He paid valet out his own pocket for me to park.
Mm.
That's back end. You know what I'm saying? Because he know when I
He
came.
understand when you come in. you
And when I
about to let it
came
go.
in, it's up from there. It's up. I'm paying for everything. But that's the reality. So
No, I
like I
get it.
said, poor people in the mind, especially in business, they want to try to make the most money out of people. Almost kind of like selling clothes. You got clothes people that sell clothes out here. And at the end of the day, yes, you could try to sell your shirt for $500, $150. But let's say you get the customer who you sell your shirt to for $20, might end up spending over a longer period of time more money.
Facts.
So what Shaq ended up doing was, the story about Shaq was at a basketball game back when he played, and this mother stopped him and almost spit in his face and said, I can't believe that you're selling your shoes. I think he was signed to Adidas or Nike or
Yeah, I
somewhere.
remember that.
Yeah, I can't believe that you're selling your shoes for $150 and I have to buy my son these shoes because he loves you so much. Like, I don't have the money to buy it. Shaq said that after that, they ended up offering like a $50 million deal to, for him to keep his name or his
He
brand and
declined
stuff.
it.
He declined it, went to Walmart, and ended up, I think, coming up with like a shoe that cost $20, $25. And don't quote me, either he did $400 million in revenue or sold 400 million pairs.
I think it was 400 million pairs.
Yeah, sold 400 million pairs at $20, $25 a piece. Versus how many pairs of shoes you think they would have sold at $150 a piece with his name on it? Nowhere even close.
I agree.
Worried about wealthy, worried about the back end, broke and poor, worried about trying to make all the money in the front end. Like, I don't care about my customers. Just give me the money. I need the money now. I'll get more customers.
No doubt.
That's not
no
the way
doubt.
that you work.
I could dig it. So let's get back to it though. Now, the home healthcare business.
Mhm.
Let's say I'm about to get started. What's the process? What am I going to do? What we doing?
Give me your money.
All right. What's it cost, man, for the people out there?
No. All right. So if you want to get started in the home healthcare service, we got a couple of different options.
Okay.
One of the options is, if they really want to get started right now, I have a number that they could text.
Okay.
And the number is 678-736-7964. And they can just text invest to that number.
Okay.
And when they text the word invest, then they're going to end up signing up for the 5 free steps of how to actually start their home healthcare
Oh,
service.
super dope. Super dope.
Yeah.
Give me that number one more time,
All
bro.
right, so the number is 678-736-7964. So it'll have my website, my Instagram, and then I give them the 5 free steps of how to actually sign up. I mean, how to actually start their home healthcare service. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it comes down to being knowledge. I look at it like this: I give away most of my knowledge for free because at the end of the day, that's the only way that we grow.
Mm.
I'm already a multimillionaire. I've already made my money.
Hey
But
man, hold on. So I'm tired of hearing that. How much you make last year off home health care?
legitly, how much I probably made?
Legitly. Oh man,
Yeah. Hey, look.
man,
Hey,
you
look.
killing me here.
Because I had to. Because on paper and one thing is like the tax man, and then you got other people and stuff like that.
Off home health care.
All right. So
legitly, how much did you
off
make?
home health care, I probably did somewhere probably like around 3.
Got you. 3 million.
Yeah, probably
That's
somewhere around
awesome.
Like
That's
3 million.
awesome. What was your best year?
Last year.
Okay, ain't no wrong with
Yeah,
it.
last year was my best year.
Awesome.
Because
Awesome.
the thing is, I put a lot of systems in place. My company has grown a lot. And even like with the last week, in literally the last week, I probably took on like about another like 10 patients, which is crazy. It's just growing.
How many patients do you currently have?
Probably like around like 60 now.
60. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
they're growing. But the one thing I love about home healthcare is every patient is the same. Like I got another case right now from DFATS. They're paying me for 24-hour care.
That's the Army, right?
No, DFATs, which are
I thought DFAS was Army for some reason.
no, that's VA. You think about
Got you. Yeah,
VA is
you're right.
Army.
You're right.
Veterans. So DFATs is like child protective services, things like that.
Got
So
you.
I got a case where I have a kid. He's like 18 years old, and they're paying me 24-hour care because he has some medical diagnosis where somebody has to take care of him. So he has to have an LPN and a CNA.
Mm.
Monday, 7 days a week, I provide CNA care. I bill DFATs $35 an hour. I pay my staff $20 an hour. Some of them I pay $15 an hour for this case. So let's just go off the higher number. I make $15 an hour every hour on this case I take home.
Mm.
So that means every day I take home around $300, $350, $60 a day on this case.
Mm.
Literally every day. So people are like $300, like that's not that. So let's do 300 times
That's
30.
2,100. That's
Yeah.
2,100 in
Yeah,
a week.
yeah. So at the end of the month, that's that's $10,000 that I'm taking home off this one. I'm putting in my pocket 10 grand off of one case a month. And then on the weekend, I provide LPN care. I'm billing them at 45. I'm paying my LPN like 25. I'm making $20 an hour for 48 hours, but 4 weekends, so every
Got you.
week. So I don't know how much that is, but at the end of the month, I'm taking home $10,000 a month.
That's
off this
dope.
case.
That's super dope.
And you get these cases. So with home health care, I tell people home health care is the best way to get. So if you want to get into home health care, there's a couple things that you can do. You just go on Google and you look up home health care provider permit, and then you put in your state. Once you do that, a couple of things are going to pop up. Home health care services, but you want to look at the government. Everyone's going to have it. Like if I put in home health care services for Georgia,
Mhm.
I might look it up right now. I'm about to go to my Google, and you see I'm using my Android, way better phone than iPhone, whatever. We'll get into that another day. I mean, I have an iPhone, but that's only for, you meet people and they see green.
Cut
they
it
go,
out.
All right, whatever.
Camera roll.
All right, so let me see. So, home health care permit, Georgia. Choo. All right, so I put in home health care, Georgia. You see, I put it in right here. So, like I said, you're gonna have all these other ones that pop up that are talking about like they can help you get your license, or they can see, or actual home health care services.
Mhm.
But I said you want to make sure you go to the one that says .gov, right?
I see that.
Which right here, private home care provider licensure packet. This letter, blah, 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 this, .gov. So that's what you want to look up. You want to look up private home care, private health care, home health care, private home care provider, and home care provider. And then put in your state, and then all the information and stuff will pop up. And then the application process and all that will start.
What's the application process like?
So for Georgia, the application process is like, you pay me, and then I do it for. No, I'm just playing. No, but I do have mentorships and things where I.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk
No
about that. But what ends up happening is once you actually go to the site and things like this, they're going to give you a packet. When they give you the packet, you just download the packet, and then they're going to tell you certain things that you have to get your LLC, your EIN. You have to have a resume, but your resume don't have to have anything with home health care. You have to get a TB test, a background check. You have to hire a nurse for your actual company, but you don't have to pay the nurse right now. They just want to see one on paper because at the end of the day, they're like, we know you just own the actual
Right.
company, but we know you're not going to be the one actually doing the clinical. We at least want to see somebody on paper that's going to be actually handling the clinicals with your company.
Understood.
But that's only for, a lot of times it's only for home health care. So you have home health care and home care. Home health care are skilled needs. That's trach and vent, that is oxygen, medication administration. You know, those are the heavier cases like, you know, doing IV injections, pulling blood. That's home health care. That is home health agency.
Understood.
You have home care, which is unskilled, which is what they consider to be CNAs, certified nursing assistants, which they can't give medication. They can't pull blood. You know, they can't give oxygen. They can't do things like this, but they can do things like what we call ADL services, active daily living. That's the things that your mom and dad need help with. Like, you know, they need help getting out of bed. They need to be bathed. They need their teeth brushed. They need somebody to feed them, take them to the doctor.
Understood.
A lot of times for those companies, you don't have to have a registered nurse. So I tell people a lot of times, and the application is way easier and way quicker. A lot of times I tell people, just go ahead and do home care first. You'll probably be able to get your licensure quicker.
When you say quicker, give me a time frame.
So to get into home health care, just in general, you're probably looking at about 3 to 6 month time turnaround once you submit your paperwork.
Got you.
We actually submitted somebody paperwork up in Illinois, and they came back with an approval on his application in less than 30 days.
Ooh,
So
saucy.
so it's, you know, it's different things in different places. So but with home care, that's where you make that $8 an hour type of profit. But when I got private pay cases in home care, my private pay cases, I'm billing them at like $24 an hour, $22 an hour, and I'm paying my staff $12 an hour.
And that's still, and that 3 to 6 months still, you know, is good for that.
Yeah,
as well, for the special cases.
Yeah,
Got
for the
you.
special cases. But like I said, now when I do my home, my actual skilled cases, I'm starting to make $15 an hour, $20 an hour, $10 an hour on the consistent. But like it's just more of a headache. I'm not gonna lie, it's more of a headache because now you have a child or an adult that's trach and vented where that nurse has to be there. Some of my cases, they have to be there. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it because this person could possibly die. If they do something wrong, give them the wrong medication, do something they're not supposed to do, you could have an individual that is really gets sick. But
Gotcha.
with home care, which is the unskilled, it's just, I like to say it's just like a glorified medically trained nanny. That's all they
Gotcha.
do. I mean, that's what they do. They can't do anything outside of
No, I
that.
got it.
And when I actually got into my home healthcare side, right before I started a nanny agency, and I looked over one of my months, I had did $40K in a month off my nanny agency. And I'm actually coming out with a course talking about my nanny agency because, like I said, this is home healthcare. It's a little bit heavier. It generates a lot of money. Like, it's an amazing program. Anybody can do it. But my nanny agency, or owning a nanny agency, is something that you can do. You can operate. You can open up in less than 30 days with about $2,000, $1,500, and start generating money now. Because with a nanny agency, I had a live-in nanny. And so things so funny. My ex-girlfriend, which was my girlfriend at the time, she became a live-in nanny for this NBA player that was one of my cases. They called me up on my hotline, whatever. They said, we need to live in, and he played for the Nets, I think. Played for the Nets. But their main house was here in Georgia. They're from Georgia. So she was a live-in. I was paying her about $1,200 or $1,300 a week, and I was making $1,100 a week off the case. So, and this was just a nanny case. Like, she was living, and they was paying for everything for it. She was private jets, the whole nine.
Oh, wow.
But I'm making $1,100 a week off of a nanny case. But I had a lot of cases where I was making $10 a week, $8 a week. I mean, my bad, $10 an hour.
I was gonna ask somebody $10 a week,
$10,
bro.
But
We going backwards.
But no, but let me tell you, but with my nanny case, some of my nanny cases, and I could like talk to the family, I could tell they didn't have the money to pay my normal rate. So I was charging, some of my nanny cases, I was charging $15 an hour. When I charged $15 an hour, I was paying the nanny $12, $13 an hour. I was only taking home $2 an hour as a 40-hour case. I'm worried about the back end, not the front end. So in my mind, $2 an hour, that's nothing. But at the end of the week, that's $80.
Got you.
At the end of the month, that's $320, $360.
Now, I hear you talking a lot about private cases. Do you do anything with like Medicaid, Medicare? And what are the benefits to working with that in that route?
Your money guaranteed.
So what extra do we have to do to build those relationships or get those licenses to
So let
work
me
with
say,
them?
so one thing I love about Medicaid is when you have an individual that needs help and don't have to pay for it, they're all game.
Mm.
So with Medicaid and Medicare and things like this, I only do Medicaid. I don't do Medicare.
Why?
I just haven't had the time to get out and go do
Okay.
it. Honestly, yeah, it's a lot. You know, it's
You too busy at the club.
Ha. Most days, but no, but no,
I'm teasing.
but no, but no, but honestly, so when you look at Medicare, Medicaid, I just have my Medicaid license. Once you get into this healthcare field, there's licenses for everything.
Mm.
You know, there's licenses to provide food to individuals. That's a Medicaid number. They have Medicaid numbers to provide care only for the elderly. They have Medicaid numbers for occupational therapy, for physical therapy. So once you get into it, you start getting all it, but that the bigger companies typically hold multiple Medicaid, Medicare numbers, private insurance, things like this. When you're first starting off and things like this, you just want to be private pay pretty much.
Okay.
You know, you want to then get your Medicaid, Medicare licensure.
Is it stricter? Are there more, you know what I'm saying, rules?
Yeah, well, there's more rules as of if I'm accepting money from Medicaid, they have their own set of rules that we have to abide by.
Got
With
you.
private pay, I'm kind of more like free reign.
Do you help people though on that side? Does
Yeah.
your program help people
yeah.
with that?
Yeah, so that's a whole nother program. So
Got
my
you.
first program gets people into this just getting your first license, which you have to get your first license.
Okay.
In some states, you can get your Medicare.
What's that
license.
program called?
What you mean?
You said the first program gets you your license.
So like my license, my private home care provider.
Okay. No, I'm saying what's your program that helps them?
Okay. My actual program.
Yes.
Okay. It's called the Home Healthcare Blueprint.
Understood.
Yeah, so it's Home Healthcare Blueprint. You go to my site, it's homehealthcareblueprint.com.
And that will help me get my first license.
That'll help you get your first license. And then, you know, if you want my mentorship and things like that, I have a number that you could call. You can email me. You can reach out to me at whoisgooch. And I know nobody know how to spell my last name. And Gooch is actually my last name because I always get it. People are like, where you get the name Gooch? Gooch is my last name, and you spell it Gooch. And if you don't know how to spell who is, you shouldn't be contacting me anyway. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right. So, you got the mentorship. You got the course to get you, you know what I'm saying, to your first license.
Mhm.
What comes in the mentorship, bro? Like, what do you do for people in the mentorship? And why should I get the mentorship?
So I advise everybody to get mentored. So my course is a self-taught course.
Okay.
You know, it's amazing. It has amazing videos, PDFs. I give you all the game.
Got you.
But sometimes getting all the game and having to apply it yourself is hard. So my first mentorship is $10,000. My $10,000 mentorship is we do your policies and procedures to be able to run your company. And my policies and procedures are state specific, which means that they're going to have all the right phone numbers and everything, going to have your company name. When I say all the right phone number, I mean all the right phone numbers for the state people that needs to be in there, because whatever you do in home healthcare, you have to have policies and procedures. My course just kind of show you how to write them up yourself. I give you some of my own personal ones, but you actually have to do the rest on your own. So for the 10K, we'll do your policies and procedures. And then we give you all the applications, regardless if you buy my course or my 10K mentorship, I give you all the applications that you need to fill out for your state.
Got you.
So now you don't have to look up on Google and stuff like this.
Okay.
You get everything. It's going to be like 20, 30 PDFs. But with the 10K, we physically walk you through all of the paperwork. So on the weekly, we'll set out a time and we'll meet with you, through Zoom or phone call, and we'll say, hey, we need X, Y, and Z done. You need to do X, Y, and Z on this paperwork. You get it done, and then we move on to the next. So we just walk you through. You still have to physically do the paperwork. We just walk you through it, actually doing the paperwork. Now you're held accountable to get the shit done
Got you.
versus doing it on your own time. Then I have a
Understood.
$20,000 mentorship. My $20,000 mentorship is kind of more like a turnkey,
Okay.
where you don't actually even do your application process anymore. We do the application for you. And then I get people to ask me, is this like a franchise? No, it's not a franchise.
Okay.
Everything's in your name. Everything's done. But regardless of whatever you do, the 10K or 20K, there are still different things that you're going to have to do that we physically can't do, like
Right,
get
right.
fingerprinted.
Right.
I can't get fingerprinted for you.
Got you.
It's things like get your business license. You physically still have to go down into the office and get your business license,
No
whether
doubt.
you do 20K or 10K. But both options are great. But with the 20K, after you physically get your license, now you work one-on-one with my team on getting clients, on building out your employee files, which are things that really do mean like a big difference. So let's say like when you first get your license, now, you're like, I don't know where to start.
What's the first step?
It was the first step and things like that. But now that you taking my course, now you know kind of what the first steps. Now you kind of know what you need to do. But instead of this way, now we're on the phone or Zoom call with you. Like, okay, now you need to go out and go buy 10 folders, and then we're gonna set them up like this. For your client file, it needs to be structured like this. You need to have these tabs in here like this. You need to research X, Y, and Z places and set up lunch and learns. What you call a lunch and learn is where we go out and we meet with doctor offices, rehabilitation clinics, and we show them everything that we have to offer and try to pull clients from them and things like that. But now when you set up your first lunch and learn, we're coaching you through what need to be said, what you need to wear, what your website need to look like, what your one pager need to look like when you go into that meeting, what topics you need to stay on.
Understood.
My nurse is talking to your nurse about how to actually structure the client files, the employee files. Like when she go out and go do an intake, what paperwork she need to bring, what she need to do. My nurse is working one-on-one with her team on doing that.
Understood.
Mhm.
Understood. I gotta ask, because you make it seem easy, bro. What are some of the challenges that some of your students run into that, you kind of make easy for them?
One of the major things is being held accountable. So a lot of my students, what I run into is I'll say do X, Y, and Z. The deadline passed, and I call them. I'm like, bro, I need you to do this paperwork. Like, I need to get this back. Oh man, I got X, Y, and Z going. Cool. I need this paperwork back. So go ahead and get it done. All right, I have it to you by this day. So, that's some of the things that I work on is, like I said, now you're held accountable.
Right.
Now you have somebody that's on your ass about getting stuff done because, like I said, life is life.
I can
Shit
dig it.
get crazy.
It does.
So when things get crazy, you start putting other things in priority of what actually need to be done. And, thinking about, man, this company won't be open for 3 to 6 months. I got stuff I need to do now. And then, like I said, poor people worry about now, wealthy worry about the back end. Like opening up a Chick-fil-A and things like that. People that open up Chick-fil-A's, they know the back end. Like they actually go through it because when you open up Chick-fil-A, you don't go apply and then you get approved and then like a month later you got a Chick-fil-A. No, to my knowledge, now you might be able to clear this up. When you own a Chick-fil-A, they build that thing from the ground up.
They do.
And how long it take to build anything? A year.
Yeah.
And then, but that's a year of them building. Then
That's
you got
not the plans
That's
before.
not the
Yeah,
plans.
yeah,
That's not
yeah.
them putting you through the schooling.
Right.
So you're 2-3 years out on a Chick-fil-A. That's the back end. That's the wealthy. Like I got time to wait. So it's so funny because if you tell somebody, man, you want to own Chick-fil-A, they're like, yeah. You be like, all right, give me $100,000 right now. 3 years from now, you'll get a Chick-fil-A. They'll be like, cool, they'll give it. You tell somebody, give me $20K and I'll get you a company that is going to generate more money than that Chick-fil-A in 1/4 of the time. They're like, oh, I don't know about that. Like I said, people don't have vision, people don't see. But people follow me. They see my lifestyle. They understand numbers and they understand that we all need health. Because at the end of the day, with what I do, like I said, I can walk in any room and I can tell you, him, her, I can tell anybody at the end of the day, give me everything that you have and you can see your son one more day. You can see your mom one more day. You can live one more day on this earth. And all you gotta do is give me everything materialistic that you built for your whole life. And most people would give it up because I've sat with people who literally watched their mother, their father, their child die, people up under my care, people up under my hospice care. They've watched them die in front of them. And they always go back and say, I wish I had more time. I would give anything for more time. When you're not healthy, you don't care. Like, you ever had like the stomach flu or stomach virus where it's coming out both ways? At the end of the day, you don't goddamn care. You in bed, you drink 1 sip of water and 10 times as much come out. And you don't even understand how that shit's even possible. Like, you don't know which way to go to the toilet, front or back. It don't even matter. But what I'm saying, that's with healthcare. With healthcare, once you become sick, nothing else matters. Once somebody that you love is sick, nothing else matters. And the fun thing is, most people that are in debt in the United States have to do with healthcare bills. More people are willing to go broke, give up everything they have to get the drugs, the medicine, the care to help either them or somebody else that they love out. How can you bet against that? My industry, regardless, like I said, we in war. The only 2 things that really matter is really trucking and healthcare at the end of the day. And healthcare supersedes that because you can't drive a truck if you're not healthy.
Boom.
So how do you bet against that? All I'm doing is leveling the playing field because if you look at real estate back in 2008, before 2008, and most people can see and understand this, you thought that you had to have a real estate license to make money in real estate.
Facts.
That's what I thought. But then everything crashed, and then you had all these people pop up like, man, you can make money in real estate by just flipping houses. You can make money in real estate by doing this, this, and this. Now, today's world, we know that you can make money in real estate. You don't have to have a real estate license. Hell, I think more people are making money in real estate that don't have real estate licenses than people that actually have real estate licenses.
I agree with that.
So, but before a certain time, only thing people knew was get your real estate license. Now you can flip houses. Get your real estate license. Now you can rent. Get your real estate license. Now you can sell houses and make commission.
Mm-hmm.
But that same thing with healthcare and home healthcare in general. People think that you have to have a degree. People think that you have to have a license. People think that you have to have a license that you get through the state. You have to have a degree. People think that you have to have a medical background, medical training, but that's just not the truth. So I'm trying to change our thinking, people of our color, people white, black, Asian, whatever color they are, because the more people that I can help open up companies, mean that that's more access for people to be able to get home healthcare services in their area.
Especially people of color too.
And people of color too. So at the end, so that's what I'm more focused on. Like I get on here, I play around, I make jokes about me being a millionaire, I make jokes about this. But at the end of the day, my core reason is being able to help people become millionaires. I believe there are certain people put here in this life to be able to dedicate and be able to give up their happiness and everything that they want and need to be able to help other people out. I believe that I'm one of those people. Like I said, I have fun. I do all the fun stuff and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, what really makes me happy is helping other people reach their dreams and goals.
I could dig it.
So my thing is, people ask me all the time, they're like, man, you're 32, no kids, no wife, no girlfriend. How is that impossible? And you're rich, and you're handsome. I mean,
you said that part, bro. Don't be on here.
You know, but my thing, but they ask that question, and I sit here and say, and I tell them, I say, I'm too focused on my students and growing my company, because what I've come to know is people get complacent and people stop growing once they start making money. It is easier to become a multimillionaire. It is easier to become successful and wealthy than it is to actually stay wealthy. That it actually is easier.
I agree.
I mean, it's easy to make $1 million. Well, to us, no, it's easier to make $1 million.
It's harder to keep it.
But it's harder to keep it and keep money flowing in. That's why most people go broke. So what I've come to find out is I think that I'm placed here. I think multiple people are placed here to be able to go without so other people can go with.
There it is. I love it. I love it. Now, question to you. You making all this money, bro. You in here talking
And I still don't
big
have a
smoke.
Rolex.
Cut it out,
Can
bro.
I have
What is
one?
that, bro?
Not a Rolex.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, he put it on the table. But what I was going to ask you is, you making all this money, you know, do you own real estate outside of your mansion, bro? Don't let me talk down, bro.
Thank you, please.
Yeah, my bad, bro. I apologize.
No, I don't.
Got you. Why not?
I'm focused only on healthcare right now.
Got
I'm gonna
you.
focus only on healthcare. And something that I don't do, that I try to explain to a lot of people is, there are times where you can get out and do multiple things, but sometimes your time isn't right now.
I agree with that.
A lot of people go broke because they have knowledge or they have people around them that's like, invest money here, do this, do this, do this.
I've been there
And,
too, though.
and they're running around with like a chicken with a head cut off, trying to do all this stuff.
Squirrel.
Yeah. And versus just focusing and mastering one thing and then moving on to the next. Right now, I have courses, I have mentorship, my home healthcare service is growing very fast. If I take on anything else on my plate right now, I like my time, I literally wake up in the morning, I work all day, I work all night. I get out, I do have my fun, but then it's so funny because I went on my side-by-side out to the woods, got back home at 1 a.m., took a shower, sat in bed, and worked an hour and a half before I went to sleep. So for what I do,
But you're living on your own terms, though. So that's the
living
beautiful,
on my own time.
that's the beautiful thing.
And I could hire somebody to do a lot of what I do, but one of the things is I have students that look up to me. I have a mentorship of people that literally come to me and like, hey, I want to do what you do. The only way that I can honestly teach people what I do is by doing what I do on a day-to-day basis. I'm not one of them people that I did Turo and got 2 cars and put them on Turo and now I'm the Turo guru. That's not what I do. I own and operate my company on a day-to-day. I can literally look on my phone right now and tell it to keep going off because one of my nurses or somebody's calling me,
Gotcha.
emails and stuff that's going in, and I'm like I said, an owner operator.
Understood.
And I love working hard. And that's what I dedicated myself to
Got
being
you.
able to do.
Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you, though, is that everybody has a relationship with real estate. You know what I mean? You
No, they
collecting
do.
or you paying it.
Yeah.
So
one, two.
as you making your money, I, believe it or not, an easy way to retain your wealth.
Just give it to you and let you do what you need to do with it. No, I'm just
Man,
playing.
hey, that too. But seriously though, tax write-offs and benefits that you get off buying, holding real estate
Mhm.
are the key thing. You know what I mean? Like Trump got so many properties,
Mhm.
but there's tax laws that give him tax benefits
Yeah.
because he has that. So for example, let's say you had, 20 rental properties and you got a tax write-off of $5,000 per property.
Mhm.
This ain't a lot of money to somebody like yourself, but it's a benefit that, you would 20 times 5,000 is 100,000.
Mhm.
You wouldn't pay taxes until you make
But how much?
100,000
How much
plus.
one of those properties cost?
Where I'm at in the Midwest, man, you're spending anywhere between 100,000 to 200,000 for a rental property.
Okay.
But you're only putting down, for somebody like yourself, you don't have time to do all the rehab and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
want to invest and just watch your cash return.
Mm-hmm.
So you would put 20% down.
Okay.
So if you did a home for 100,000, you're putting 20,000 down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you could just have that going, and you're getting cash flow, you're getting tax benefits and appreciation and so much more.
Because you have a course too, don't you?
I do. I teach people how to get free rental properties, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But that's a little bit more intensive because the way I teach you, you invest, you remodel,
Okay.
and then you get your money back out and do it again. For somebody like yourself, you need what's called turnkey.
Okay.
You need a tenant in there. You need somebody managing that. You just want to see the check and you want
Hey,
to
look,
see your expenses.
You know something that I've noticed that make a lot of money?
What's that?
One of my friends, he does property management.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, his Lamborghini bigger than mine.
I'm dead.
No, for real.
Nah,
no, my
nah.
friend, no. I didn't know property management. These folk out here making a killing.
Yes, so you make 10% of their rents. So
Wait.
so basically
That's
anytime.
true? You make 10%?
I do like the due diligence on like buying the properties.
Got you. So she's doing the research to acquire. But the truth is, let's
10%.
say for instance he had 100 properties, right?
Uh-huh.
Everybody charging $1,000. He's getting $100 per property,
Mhm.
and that's how he's making his money. That's
I done dropped one.
you good. You good.
What the hell?
That's just off the management fee.
Yeah.
That's not counting the property maintenance.
Oh,
So when you're
Lord.
doing maintenance, you put another 20% on there. But it's a cheat code though, right? This is what property management is. Let's say I got 20.
Let you guys know, me and Eric coming out with a property management course together. I need that 20% on top of the. No,
But seriously though, but think about it like this though. If I'm about to get rid of my portfolio, I got 20 properties. The first person I have to tell is my property manager
Mhm.
because he has to tell the tenant that, hey, we're going to be doing walkthroughs to show the property.
Mhm.
That means he knows that I'm going to get rid of my properties. He could get my properties on a discount before I put them on the market.
Oh wow.
So it's a cheat code. He learns off all my mistakes. And he's collecting as he's learning.
But how hard is it to become?
I ain't trying to do that.
Uh,
That ain't
yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
I ain't no specialist. I ain't trying to do that.
I mean, but because that seemed like it's kind of hard because like be a property manager and stuff like that. It's kind of like you always got to have relationships with other people and stuff. It's kind of like one of those type of things where, like you said, for what I do is I just look on Google the closest person. For that, it's more of like a handshake type of thing.
It is.
That's
You
what I
are
thought.
out there building relationships. You're going to RIA meetings. RIA means the real estate group meetings. You're out there, going to apartment complexes. Real estate is a relationship based type of industry in order for you to flourish.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But relationships are the key to life.
No, they are.
You know what I mean? So like that's just that. But relationships are going to be the engine. But a property manager is the cheat code to
Okay.
real estate. Because like again, everybody's business. You know what they making. So oh, you don't want to do that. You want to do this. Oh, this area ain't hitting like that. He did that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
He's about to get rid of some properties. Hey, let me get those before you give them to the realtor.
Yeah.
You save on $1 million package. You save 6% right there, 60,000,
Yeah.
just because you were the property manager.
Yeah.
And then you could say, hey, I got a buyer, another investor over here that'll take those, and you could just say, I'm gonna just charge you 20,000 for the transaction for connecting.
Yeah. And you
It's a
giving
cheat-
it up.
It's
That's
a cheat code.
Man.
Yeah, man. Right on for coming through, bro.
No, definitely, man.
Yeah, before we let you go though, man, one more time, let the people know where they can contact you, what they got to do to tap in with you if they're interested, you know what I mean, in starting their own healthcare business.
No, definitely. So they can reach me at 678-736-7964. And all they have to do is text invest. But the good thing is, like, I actually do check these messages. So once
Okay.
you sign up and stuff, we send you the information about how to get the 5 free steps and things like this. But like you actually can hit me and be like, hey, I got a question about this. And then I do have, you go to homehealthcareblueprint.com. I do have a calendar that you could get on that you can physically talk to me or my team for 15 minutes. And then we have the hour-long call for like $120. My fun thing is my calendar right now, I'm booked out 15 calls a day, Monday through Friday, from now into February to talk to me. But like I said, the $120 calls are available, or you can hit me on the community line. And like a lot of times, people hit me on my Instagram at whoisgooch, or hit me on the community line, and they'll be like, "Hey, your schedule is all the way booked out here. Can I get on the schedule quicker?" And then I'll throw you, or one of my VAs will throw you on the schedule quicker. Or you hit me on my Instagram, I might call you right then and there. Because I literally go through it, and I might be waking up in the morning and be like, let me just hit this person right there. So those are kind of different ways that they want to be able to reach out.
I'm glad you ain't charged me $120 for your time, my guy.
Oh no, you're going to get a bill. I need your email.
All right, y'all, we about to get out of here, man. Make sure to tell a friend, man, to make sure that you like, share, comment, man, and also tap into the next episode, man. Make sure. Thank you for having us, man. And
definitely a pleasure.
I'll see you on the other side. Man, you fried, bro. He said, hold on. He said, I got a better example. Went to the strip club for the example and elaborated on his strip club experience.
Hey, man, look, this be funny with me.